Welcome back. There's a huge political furore over US aid and its India Connect. The BJP and the Congress are sparring over the $21 million fund cut that the United States Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Musk, announced a few days ago. This funding, originally allocated under Biden administration, was allegedly aimed at influencing voter turnout in India and was part of a larger $486 million budget for the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening across countries. BJP's Amit Malviya and Rajiv Chandrasekhar have accused the Congress over what they have called external interference in India's electoral process. Amit Malviya has said $21 million for voter turnout. This definitely is external interference in India's electoral process. Who gains from this? Not the ruling party, for sure. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the former union minister and BJP MP, in a post on X, in fact, called this smoking gun of interference and undermining of democracy, is alleging that it reinforces the belief that almost all these protests had external funding forces and puppet masters behind it. I hope we investigate the money trail in India fully and who did what with the US aid money. That's what Rajiv Chandrasekhar claimed. Meanwhile, Congress's Pawan Khera took on the BJP, saying that back in 2012, when the Election Commission of India allegedly received funding from USAID, the ruling party was the Congress. So by his logic, the Congress government was sabotaging its own electoral prospects by inviting this supposed foreign interference. Continuing sarcastically, Pawan Khera added, and according to Malviya, the opposition BJP must have won the 2014 elections thanks to George Soros and US aid. Well, former Chief Election Commissioner S.Y. Qureshi has rejected these reports. The report in a section of media about a memorandum of understanding by the ECI in 2012, when I was the Chief Election Commission, for funding of certain $1 million by a US agency for raising voter turnouts in India, does not have an iota of fact, Qureshi said in his post on social media. He added that when he was the CEC, there was an MOU with the International Foundation for Electoral Systems in 2012. The EC had similar MOUs with other agency and election management bodies to facilitate training for countries. That's what he has claimed. There was no financing or even promise of finance involved in MOU, forget X or Y amount. The MOU, in fact, made it clear in black and white that there would be no financial and legal obligation of any kind on either side. Meanwhile, let's listen in to the political reactions.
In the past, we've seen certain political parties, like the Congress, even engaging with organizations like Cambridge Analytica, which was with an attempt to somehow create some kind of influence that may change around or interfere with the election process. Now you have this 21 million. So certainly if anyone has received money under it, that has to be made clear. And certainly if something like that is being stopped, it is in the larger interest of freedom of democracy without interference.
BJP leaders, they are making such baseless allegations against Congress party for a very long time without any proof. I doubt this money is coming to Bharatiya Janata Party because we have seen in Delhi election openly most of the candidates of Bharatiya Janata Party, they were distributing money openly to the voters. So this money was coming from where? It is the matter of investigation. It should be properly investigated. Then truth will come out. And I am sure BJP may be involved.
Well, I'm being joined by Pradeep Mathur, who's a leader for the BJP, O.P. Rawat, who's a former Election Commissioner of India, as well as Sujata Paul, who's a spokesperson for Congress. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining me. Well, Mr. O.P. Rawat, let me just straight come to you at this point. We've just had a very important election finish, and India is a country where you have elections every few months, every few years. That may change with one nation, one poll, but nonetheless, for now, sticking to what it is. How do you look at the allegations that have emerged politically, but also the response from the former CEC, S.Y. Qureshi, and that's what I really want to focus. This whole allegations of millions of dollars being used to contravene the election system, the electoral system in a country which has been completely rebuffed, rejected by a former CEC.
I agree with what Dr. Qureshi says, because global network of election management bodies and certain agencies like IFES and electoral integrity projects, etc., these function to strengthen democracy worldwide. And these collect data for the usage by all other election management bodies and democratic countries. This particular case, which says that $21 million were given for voter turnout. Now, it has not been made clear to whom was it given. That is one. Whether to NGOs, to any other agency. Another thing is the magnitude. This $21 million means just about 160 crores. Whereas the reports, I don't know whether they are scientifically proven or not, reports say that in our elections, we spend more than 1 lakh crore of rupees. So where does this 160 crore will stand in front of that? Third thing is MOU. This was clarified by Dr. Qureshi that MOU was signed between IFES and Election Commission. And this is a regular practice to sign such MOUs with international agencies, multilateral agencies, to promote democracy worldwide, to promote capacity building of election managers all over, because we have very good institution in India, in Delhi. It is called India International Institute of Democracy and Electoral Management. So we impart training to election managers of all the countries worldwide. So this MOU was signed only for that purpose, that IFES will facilitate other democracies to send their election managers to IIIDEM for capacity building training. And it was specifically mentioned that no legal and financial implication on either side. It will be a two-way, bilateral contract between IIIDEM and the concerned country's election management body. Whatever terms and conditions for providing the training, that will be met according to that contract.
Okay. O.P. Rawat, I have one more question before I go to the other two panelists. O.P. Rawat, so you are essentially saying, if I have to, just conclude what you're saying, the inference is, with the allegations that have been made, particularly of the $21 million funding from the USAID, it does not prove anything. It does not prove interference. It does not prove external force. Is that what you are saying?
Right, because these are normal things in normal days, whether election days or anything. All election management bodies worldwide, they have
Okay, so then my next question is, why would any foreign agency, for a lay person who is listening to this debate, who is listening to this entire larger picture unfold of the political back and forth, why would any foreign funded agency anyway be interested in another country's election strengthening system? Just a simple question for getting a perspective from a former election commissioner.
Because all these bodies have been created for that purpose. Sometimes we are chairman of these bodies. Like Mr. Sunil Arora, when he was CEC, he was the chairman of AWEB. So these bodies have been created to build capacities worldwide, and anything being done very well, the best practice anywhere, is shared among all the election management bodies. And this requires very small amount of money, not a lot of money.
Okay. Pradeep Mathur, let me get you in. Pradeep Mathur, this is not an argument from a journalist. This is not an argument from a political person. This is not an argument from an anchor. You are hearing a former chief election commissioner himself speak. He's saying, from the allegations that have emerged, from the amount that has been put forth, nothing substantial comes forth. How would you respond to this?
First of all, we are discussing on the lines that as if this whole process has an agenda to change the regime, right? But the actual thing is, it was not just a regime change operation.
No. I don't have any agenda. No, Pradeep Mathur.
No.
Please, I don't understand your argument. I'm interrupting you right at the onset. There is no agenda here. What is it? I don't understand this, please.
As far as this money is concerned, money trail is concerned, this money trail was utilized, means the discussion is going on the lines as if the money trail was utilized to change the regime. But here, the scenario is little more serious. The seriousness is that this has been utilized to destabilize India like Bangladesh. This is what is happening. Now I'll come to the facts. You must have heard Rahul Gandhi, talking about OCCRP, right? So Rahul Gandhi had been quoting OCCRP. It was something like he was trying to amplify the reports of OCCRP against the Indian businessmen and the Indian government. Similar, there is GKI, like Sam Protodra and Sara Pole. Both are the people who are handling this organization, and this is definitely directly funded by USAID. And this organization is running some kind of media organizations like Factshala. So Factshala, we have heard what they are doing is they are continuously talking against India. Shambhala Institute of Public Policy, that is also continuously talking against India. So even Rajiv Gandhi
Pradeep
Foundation
Maurji.
being funded
Pradeep
by,
Maurji.
understand. So it's very, very serious. Even what we have seen is Rahul Gandhi.
Pradeep
I'll
Maurji. Pradeep
Wait a minute.
Maurji. Pradeep
Yeah.
Maurji. Just before I go to the Congress panelist, with all due respect, I'm again, because I'm really trying to understand the link. It's very important for even the viewers to try and understand the link. So there was this entire allegation that came up with the funding of USAID for voter turnout. There have been a series of allegations post that. We just spoke to a former CEC. My question is humbly this. How would you respond to what he's saying, that mere the amount and the purpose for which it is said does not substantiate anything, is what a former CEC has said. You may come up with a history and a battery of allegations against the opposition. Fair enough, you have the right to that. But right now, I'm just trying to understand and focus on a particular issue, Pradeep Mathur. So if you would have anything to speak about that particularly.
Look, I heard him, and he was saying that the amount was not substantial enough to interfere in any kind of electoral, disruption or regime change kind of a thing. Because we spend so much on elections. This is what he said. But actual thing is this: this is just the start of the whole process. Something has come from international, agencies, and people are talking about it. So now the thing is that probe has to be done, and more needs to be found out, because there are many NGOs, not only one. There are many NGOs which are being funded, and probe has to be done to find out all those NGOs who has been funding this kind of activity. We heard Rahul Gandhi. He talked about waging a war against Indian state. Understand? Renuka Chaudhary, she was talking about
Pradeep Maur,
kind of
we'll
a
come
thing.
to that. We'll come to that.
Understand?
I know
So
we all have
this is
had a
very, very
discussion and
serious.
debate on that, on how the
wanted
usage
some
of the
kind
state
a
and all
mutiny.
was. I get your point. I get your political point as well. Let
They
me
were
go to
planning
Sujata
some
Paul.
kind of a
Sujata Paul,
mutiny against Indian
I
state.
do want
This
to
is what
go
is
to
happening.
OP Rawat after that. Sujata Paul, here's the allegation that the ruling front is making. And of course, it's stemming from USAID, but the allegation that even Pradeep Mathur seems to be saying is there seems to be a barrage of allegations against the opposition, quoting reports, stating statements, and using funding that they claim is destabilizing the country. How do you look at that?
Isn't it really hilarious that we were in power in 2012 when all this happened, and according to the BJP's out of work or overworked lot, and I mean Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who's out of work, Mr. Amit Malviya under great pressure because the Prime Minister's US trip is really under fire. The way he has conducted himself, the way we have seen him presenting the country, the way people are being deported back to the country, and what has happened at the Mahakumbh and at the railway station in Delhi. And that is why, to distract attention from there,
Yes,
Mr. Amit Malviya must have sat up all night. Please don't speak in between. I did not speak in between.
Okay, Pradeep Mathur, I'll come to you. Pradeep Mathur, I'll come to you. Let her just give her 2 minutes. I gave you a lot of time. I'm afraid I will not be able to give Sujata Paul that much time because we are running short. So just let her make her point very quickly and briefly.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sujata Paul.
So, Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Mr. Nalin Kohli out of work, and Mr. Amit Malviya, fake news peddler, has sat all through the night looking at news coming in from the US. Now, I want to know whether, like Mr. Pavan Khera
politics
said,
of distraction. Go ahead. Next point, Sujata.
Yeah, George Soros or
Yes.
US aid.
Yes.
But tell me something. The Congress helped the BJP come to power, one. And secondly, they say that, we never questioned the constitutional authorities. And here they are very clearly saying that the CEC who was there when they came to power just before that, they are questioning him. So that means they are biased. That means all the people they are putting into constitutional posts are biased. That is very clear from here. And what he's saying is...
Pradeep Mathur, please respond. Pradeep Mathur, please respond. Direct allegations. I want to go to OP Rawat, but you have a right to respond. Politics of distractions and a counter allegation of how you are now targeting constitutional office bearers. Go ahead.
What they are doing is they are trying to say that in 2012, this fund came to them. And they utilize that fund, for their purpose. So what is wrong in that? So all the allegations are wrong. But the reality is, Rajiv Gandhi Foundation has been continuously funded.
I never said that any fund has been
Rajiv
used.
Gandhi Foundation has been funded by George Soros. Is it true or not? Tell me. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation has been funded by
please don't
George
speak
Soros.
lies. Stop peddling lies. You're confused. You're a pendulum right now. You don't know where to move and how to move. So the fact is that from Sam Pitroda to this entire issue of USA, you are only using
Sujata Paul, you have made your point. Pradeep Mathur, make your point. 30 seconds, Pradeep Mathur. Okay, Sujata Paul, you made your point very fiercely and vociferously. Allow Pradeep Rawat to make his. Pradeep Rawat, make your point.
Pradeep Mathur. Okay.
Sorry, Pradeep Mathur, apologies for that. Pradeep Mathur, go ahead, make your point.
Right. We saw this picture. Everybody, your media has also shown this picture. Who is this? He's Sunil Shetty. He is he's funded by George Soros.
he's from US.
30 seconds.
What is the topic and what is he talking?
Why is she shouting?
Please.
Okay, Sujata Paul, allow Pradeep Mathur to make his point. Allow Pradeep Mathur to make his point. Sujata Paul, Pradeep Mathur, make your point. Finish your point. Sujata Paul, allow Sujata Paul, allow Pradeep Mathur to make his point. Allow Pradeep Mathur. Pradeep Mathur, go ahead, make your point.
There are different ways of funding. Funding can be direct, funding can be indirect. If Sunil Shetty celebrity has been funded, that means he was funding an
Okay, I'm totally out of time, but I'm going to still insist. OP Rawat, if I can come to you. OP Rawat, I do not have more time, but I will give you 20 seconds, 15 seconds for one question. Is there a concern about funding, say from US aid or several other organizations that are foreign funded? Is there a concern over the funding and the collaborations with them in the past, currently, with respect to election and conduct of the election and the voter turnout whatsoever? As a former CEC, how do you look at that?
Absolutely no concern, because after FCRA amendment, everything is centralized and everything under the nose of the government.
Okay, Pradeep Mathur, please respond to that. I don't have more than 5 seconds. I have to get a response from you. Pradeep Mathur, respond.
We are not kids here. We understand very well how NGOs are funded. When NGOs are funded, they can utilize the funds. They can misutilize the fund also. This is what we are talking about. We are talking
about... All right, Sujata Paul, I'm really sorry. Apologize, Sujata Paul. I cannot come back to you. I'm totally out of time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm totally out of time. But Pradeep Mathur, Sujata Paul, thank you very much for putting forth a very fierce back and forth between what you think is the truth and needs to come out. And of course, OP Rawat, thank you very much for joining us as a former CEC. Thank you very much. Time for a very short break. Up next at 7 o'clock, my colleague Ashish Parikh takes it over.